Well, with the announcement of the Resident Evil 4 remake, I was a little confused. Resident Evil 1 through 3 had their remakes bringing their respective games up to speed with modern gameplay elements, graphics, and fully recognized ideas and visions that were limited by the original hardware these games were developed for. Although I find that Resident Evil 4 is different. It already changed the dynamics of the series, utilizing a new viewpoint, lots of side content, and has HD remasters beautifying the 2004's original textures and character models. But now, the Resident Evil 4 remake will bring this praised title up to the new standards that gaming has today, almost 20 years later. I'm not aware of how divided the Resident Evil community is about this remake, but here is what I hope will be included in the latest remake. Check out my top 5 additions that I hope are going to be included in the Resident Evil 4 remake. This list is in no particular order and is just my opinion and something I think is just for fun. In the comments, tell me what you think about the remake announcement and what changes or additions you think would be cool to include in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Number 1. Have the ability to switch between first person and third person mode. It would be cool to have this option to play Resident Evil. It's an option that has become popular as you can switch between these perspectives in Grand Theft Auto 5, Skyrim, and Solid Snake series. It's so popular that they're making an entire third-person mode for Resident Evil Village. It changes up the gameplay and makes Village feel like an entirely different game. Plus, you can get a general idea of what a first-person mode would be like since Resident Evil 4 plays on the Quest 2. And don't you want to get as close as you can to those nice 9th generation details? Number 2. Have the villains as playable characters in Mercenary Mode. I know this sounds like I'm taking ideas from the Resident Evil Village updates, but think about it. I would love having the abilities that these bosses had in Resident Evil 4. You get such a satisfying taste playing as Krauser. Sadler, he has a pretty normal human body with tentacle attacks and can shoot projectiles. And maybe you can have the power to control some of the enemy types to help you out in some of these scenarios. Salazar might not have something totally obvious since his boss battle is a snake on a wall, but what if you were piggybacking on one of his guardians? They move fast underground, they move fast above ground, they have a sharp swiping tail, and they have powerful strikes. Plus, they can make it look like Salazar's Yoda during Luke's Dagobah training. And the Big Cheese is, well, a big cheese. He has his spine stretching ability. Well, I don't know, maybe the first 2 choices are good, but here is a better option. Number 3, make Louis Serra a playable character. I would love for Louis Serra to be given more time than what he received in the original. He's charismatic, charming, and good with the ladies, but not as good as Leon.
He's better with the ladies.
My number 1 hope is that they create a side mission like Separate Ways with Louis. It could fill in the blanks in the original story and would allow us to understand Louis better by showing us who he is rather than learning his backstory in short memos. Just something other than him popping up in and out only to be stabbed by Sadler and killed off before things got interesting. I'd even settle to have him as a playable character in Mercenary Mode. He helps Leon in a gunfight with the Village Ganados, he can put up a fight with his handy Red 9, and I can only hope that they give him other fun goodies like the pump action shotgun or the striker. Number 4. Have more fleshed out characters. I am not talking about the main cast, but a faceless character that would bring an extra layer of tragedy to one of the main villains in RE4. I'm of course talking about the butler of Salazar Castle. When you play as Ashley, you find the butler's note talking about how Sadler is manipulating the guilt Salazar feels from his ancestors persecuting the Los Illuminados group in the past. It gives a little depth to Salazar's character and shows that he's actually a tragic villain that will be tossed away as soon as he's no longer useful to Sadler. You even see a portrait of Salazar before he's been injected with the parasite. It almost makes me feel sorry for him. I said almost. And last but not least, number 5, have another sequence playing as Ashley. I loved in the original how scared I was playing as Ashley in her segment. You don't have any weapons, and Ashley can't stab or suplex her enemies. Instead, you're left with how quickly you can think on your feet and avoid any attacks. Ashley is forced to use her surroundings in order to hurt the Ganados around her using oil-filled lamps. With what's possible with today's graphics, that level of atmosphere would be enhanced tenfold. The second dungeon in Resident Evil Village was actually my favorite. There were no weapons, just puzzles and getting scared out of my mind. If not another segment as playing as Ashley, a longer segment with a better set of puzzles. This needs an update, please. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about my list and what you think would be awesome to include next on the Resident Evil 4 Remake. My name is BirKey, and see what is in my corner next time.